So welcome back again. This is a continuation session for fundamental JavaScript concepts. So now we are going to see the timer functions. In the previous video I explained you about callback functions and the real-time examples. So now we can see the overview of timer functions. So what is a timer functions? Timer functions is also some mechanisms to execute some asynchronous code. I told you right in the earlier video there is some mechanism to ensure that in the JavaScript, the asynchronous part of the code should be executed, then only the next part of the code should be executed. So in order to make it as a asynchronous with non-blocking, generally JavaScript is a synchronous with a blocking property. So to make it as an asynchronous with a non-blocking property, we use some certain mechanisms like callback, timer functions, promises, async await, and all those things. So the timer function is also an entity to execute asynchronous part of the code, and that is also one of the mechanisms. So in timer functions we have two type of timer function. One is setTimeout, another one is setInterval. Okay, so let me explain you the setTimeout functions. So what is a setTimeout function? SetTimeout function is a function that ensures and it will execute some functions after certain time delay. So I'll give you a proper example for that. Don't confuse. SetTimeout is a mechanism in timer function which will execute the function after certain delay of time. So proper example for setTimeout is, I will take a simple explanation. Okay. So suppose if you have one console log statement. Okay. I'll take another console log. In the third statement, I will take setTimeout. Okay. So it will take a function as an argument. Okay. Function as an argument. I will define one function here. Okay. setTimeout, execute it after 3 seconds. So there will be a comma here. So this is a syntax. Here you define after how much time delay you want that setTimeout function to be executed. So for now I already told 3 seconds, so I will give 3000 milliseconds. Okay, 1000 milliseconds is equal to 1 second. So you know all those basics, right? So this setTimeout function will be executed, and then again one more console log statement. So just see the flow. Okay, see the flow. The JavaScript engine will first execute console log hi will be printed. So this is a call stack. So hi will come here. Hi will be printed in the console. Then it will be thrown out. Hello will come here. Printed in the console. Hello will be thrown out. Then when the call stack sees this, setTimeout. So it identifies it's a mechanism to execute asynchronous code. As in the earlier video I already told you, you will be very aware of that. So when it sees the setTimeout function, it will immediately push this code to browser environment. In this browser environment we have message queue, right? Message queue. So this set timeout will come here and it will sit here, the function. There will be event loop also. Why this time delay I have given? So I am expecting this function should be executed after 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, this function should be executed. So the console log statement, console log set timeout executed after 3 seconds. So I want some time delay. For a real time example, after 3 seconds you need to print something. After 3 seconds you need to fetch something from the database. So you can define certain time interval for that. So in the real time, what happens is, if you need something after certain time delay, you can use set timeout functions, right? So what happens is, this function will be, this is an asynchronous part of code, it will be thrown to message queue. Okay, there is a 3-second delay, right? So the JavaScript engine immediately execute this part of the code, hi there. Okay, it will execute all those things. After 3 seconds, this function will be executed. After 3 seconds, this function will be executed, set timeout functions, right? So this is what set timeout function is. This is what set timeout function is. So I will give you the real-time example where it can be useful, right? So set timeout you can insert in any of the JavaScript statement. If you want something to be fetched after certain time delay, so that then you can use the set timeout functions in the JavaScript. So as I told you, so set timeout is, syntax is, you are what is that? You are passing a function here, and you are defining some. This refers to the seconds or milliseconds. This is a time delay. This is what time delay. After certain time of delay, you want that process, you want that result, right? Certain amount of result. If you want to fetch some user information after certain 10 seconds, right? After 10 seconds, you can set the timeout, right? So in the real-time example, what happens is, in the behind the scenes, the database will update, right? The database will update, and you have that set timeout function. So after 10 seconds only, you will get the updated data. So in JavaScript code, what you can do is, you can give the set timeout function, and you can give the time delay. After 10 seconds, you fetch that information, so that you can fetch the updated information of the user, right? If you fetch immediately, after certain 10 seconds, you can find the updated details of the user. So if you are setting the time delay, you can fetch the updated information. So that is the case where the set timeout will be used in the real time. So certain API fetching can be made in the real time set timeout function. So if you want to fetch the full-fledged API, you need some time, right? You need certain time to fetch those API details. For example, if you want to fetch the web page of the Indigo and all those in the API called some flyibbo.com or something like that. So if you want to fetch that fully updated details, so you can set the timeout. After certain delay, you can fetch that details, right? So this is where the set timeout will come in place. After certain delay, you are fetching those details. So in the practical session, you will understand all those details regarding the set timeout. So coming to next is set interval. So set interval function is another mechanisms to execute some asynchronous part of the code, or to execute a task which takes so much time. After it will execute repeatedly, that's it. It will execute repeatedly, repeated execution of a function, where you want that function to be executed repeatedly after certain delay. For example, so you will take one, I did a project called YouTube clone. There what happens is, you have seen some YouTube live API, right? YouTube live chat. In the YouTube live chat, after certain seconds, the chat is popping up, right? Chat is popping up. After certain seconds, chat is popping up. So even though you press, even though you're typing something, after every 2 to 3 seconds, the live chat is popping up in the YouTube. So there you can use set interval. After certain 2 seconds, repeatedly you are popping up the message. You are popping the message to the user. So the live chat will go on an hour or 2 hours. After 2 hours, you need a live chat to be closed, right? So you can set that interval and close that interval. Like this you can do. For example, so just take an example. I am using set interval function. Okay, I'm defining a function. This is also the same syntax. If you are defining a function and you are setting some time delay. Okay, this is the same thing. So now I'm going to give a function as what do you think it will happen when I execute this part of a code in V8 engine? So set interval, when it sees the set interval, this function will be executed repeatedly after every 2 seconds. So when I execute this function, after 2 seconds, executed will be printed in the console. Again after 2 seconds, executed will be printed in the console. Again after 2 seconds, executed will be printed in the console. It goes on and on until you close this interval. Until you close this interval, it goes on and on. It's a repeated, if you want repeated execution of some tasks, that is where you use set interval function. So for example, I told you in the YouTube chat, YouTube live, in the YouTube live program, if you have the chat box running around at certain time, right, 1 hour or 2 hour, so you can set that time and close that interval. How do you do it? So I need executed to be executed repeatedly until 10 seconds. That's it. Until 10 seconds I want, for example. So what you will do, you will just define one setTimeout function. You will say some what is that, close, something like that. So here you are just clearing the interval. Okay, you're clearing the interval. Yes, you're after 10 seconds, so 10,000 milliseconds. So when it executes this part of the code, this executed will be printed until after every 2 seconds it will be printed, right? Executed, the first print. Next print will be printed. Okay. Next again after 2 seconds, for the third time it will be printed. Then after again 2 seconds, that fourth time it will be printed, right? And again after 2 seconds, fifth time it will be printed. Once it reaches 10 seconds, as you can see, the set timeout I am defining as a 10 seconds, right? After reaching 10 seconds, it will clear this interval. It will clear this interval, and the execution stops of the set interval. So this is how you clear interval. In the YouTube live also this mechanism works. Whenever you are defining some chat box in the YouTube live program, you are setting the interval for that. For every 3 seconds the live chat pops up. After certain 2 hours you need to stop that live chat. So this is how the mechanism you can build behind the scenes, right? Behind the scenes you can build this mechanism. So once the set interval is done, if you clear the interval, then the execution will be stopped. So make sure to clear the interval. Okay, so if you don't clear the interval, so that goes on and on, so until the call stack exceeds, right? So this is the overview of set timeout and set interval functions and the timer functions. So this is not just it. If you attend my next sessions, you will get a clear picture how it will work. I will show you in the console, developer tools, and all those things. So stay tuned for the next video. This is it. Hope you liked it. Thank you for the session. Thank you.